All right, you guys have your game right now down at Liberty. I'm watching on Game Changer, and I thought I would make this video. I see that the score is 4-0. We're losing in the fifth. We got 4 hits. They got 1 hit, and we're losing 4-0. All right, so I'm gonna make this video. It's MJ on the left, Bryce Harper on the right, and we're gonna see some things they do similar and some things they do different. All right, we're going to start with MJ over here. MJ's got a really, really nice swing. There's just one thing I wish he wouldn't do. I showed him, this was at the Armory on Thursday. He's already seen this, but a lot of you other guys do the same thing, so I wanted you to see it. All right, so I'm going to go until his front foot hits the ground. All right, so he's striding, front foot down. Let's go back just a little bit. Right there. All right, so his front foot barely hits the ground. All right, hands are back over his back foot. That's nice. Look at this arm. It's not, a lot of you guys like to keep their arm bent. That makes your swing longer. If you get this arm more straight, it allows you to stay through the ball and your swing is actually shorter. So I like how this arm is straightening out. It doesn't have to be barred out, but it's getting nice and straight because obviously when you make contact with the ball, you want that lead arm to be straight. And I'm going to get Harper in the same position. You can see how Harper is really into his legs. See how he's squatting down? He's getting into his legs. That's where his power is going to come from. All right, so we're going to go until he's in the same spot and right there. All right, so you can see he's more into the legs than MJ is. MJ has kind of creeped forward just a little bit. So you can see there's not a whole lot of weight here on this back leg where Harper still has this leg is bent and he's still got weight back here that he's going to transfer forward. All right, but here's what I want to see. So now that our front foot is down, this head should not be moving forward anymore. So let's go ahead and mark where his head is at right now. Put a line right through the middle of his head right there. Now these angles aren't exactly the same. So let's see what MJ is going to do with his head right here. All right, so if he just, right now we want to start turning. We don't want to be going forward anymore, but we're going to drift forward. And just that, look at that little move right there. Just that little move from going from here to there. Just that little leak. I mean, that's the difference between hitting 400 and hitting, 250. Give me, it could be 150 to 200 points just for that little drift forward. Now let's see what Harper does over here. I'm going to go ahead and put a line through his head. Now his foot has hit the ground, and now he's going to be ready to rotate. He's not going to see. You're not going to see much more head movement from Harper. Let's see what it looks like. And there it is. He just starts to turn, and the middle of his head stayed right there on that line. He's going to turn, and look at also where he gets this. He gets this ball deep. He gets extension, and this ball's obviously going to the opposite field because that's pretty deep. But he does have extension, but he's getting it deep. He's allowing the ball to travel further. So now he's not going to be fooled with changeups and sliders and curveballs or whatever because he's seeing the ball much longer. Now let's see where MJ's going to get this. He's going to get it way out in front. And you can see, kind of hard to see here. This technology isn't as good as my old one, but look, this is what I say, you're going to get it. You're reaching out, you're going to get it. And you can see it's a glancing blow because the ball is going to go to the left, but as soon as he hits it, his bat is making a turn to the right. So you can barely see that there. So he makes contact, the ball goes to the left, and the bat is immediately going to the right. That's going to cause a tremendous amount of side spin. So that ball's not going to carry. Where Harper here, he's able to drive through the ball, stay through it much longer. And then look, so you can see his head is out over his front foot. So he drifted his weight way too far forward. Or look at Harper. His head is still in the same position it was when his lead foot hit the ground. Both very good swings. If MJ could keep his head back here, he's WYL MVP. I mean, he'll be batting third. But just that movement from here to there and that drop from there to there and that movement, more importantly, the movement forward, it's going to make it tougher for him to be consistent. All right, now I'm going to show you Corral. All right, so now we got Corral on the left. We got Juan Soto on the right. Juan Soto's been kind of flipped around, so he looks like a righty. All right, so same thing. I'm going to take Corral until his front foot hits the ground. So he takes a really small stride here. I don't know if he's working on 2 strikes or whatever. He reaches out a little bit, doesn't really reach out too much, and he's down. All right. Now look at the difference. Now, Soto's legs, I'll go through it a little bit. He likes that. He likes to get into his legs. So you can see, look at the bend. See the bend in those knees, both of them bent. Look over here. This is almost straight leg over here. It's almost like his knees are almost locked out. Athletic position on the right. Over here, that's a position you could guard somebody in basketball, tackle somebody in football. On the left, Now, some people do stand straight up and down, and that, but I would prefer a little bit more bend, a little more athleticism in those legs. All right, so let's go ahead and get Soto here until he front foot hits the ground, and it's getting close. He's reaching out, reaching out, reaching out, and he's down. All right, so now here comes the line again. All right, so Corral's middle of his head is right there. Now, Corral does have 2 hits today, so he's obviously doing a lot of good things. But like anything, everybody can get better. And then here's the middle of Juan Soto's head right there. All right, so both of them, their front foot just hit the ground. They're done striding. Now we should be ready to turn. The body should be able to rotate through the ball. Let's see what Corral's going to do over here. Is his head going to stay back or is it going to go forward? And it's going to go forward. There it goes. Leak, leak, leak. Now that's just wasted. Why would you want to go forward like that? This is the time we're reading the pitch. So if we're moving our head 6 to 8 inches forward, now we're coming back to the dugout and I'm hearing things like, wow, that curveball is nasty. I couldn't see his changeup. Well, no kidding, because you're not seeing the spin because your head's moving too much. Now let's see Soto over here. The guy gets paid $50-60 million a year. Why? Look. All right, so same thing. His front foot just got down. Now is his head going to leak forward or is he ready to just turn and rotate? And the answer is he's ready to turn and rotate. We'll take him to contact, and boom. His head started right there. It finished exactly right there. Juan Soto is able to see the spin. He's also catching the ball very deep. Now, he's probably, the angle's a little weird, but he's probably catching it just behind his front foot. So this ball is going to the opposite field and he's driving it, but he's getting it deep. He's seeing the ball as long as possible. This is what I say, don't go get it. So that's what Corral's doing over here. He's going to get it. He's going forward. And now his contact point is going to be further out in front than Soto's. Both these balls, his is going to right field as well. His going to opposite field. But Soto he allowed himself to see the ball much deeper because his head stayed back here, where Corral's moved forward. Also, look at this line. I always like to do this line. So Soto has that great line from the foot up his leg, through his torso and to his head. Boom. That if you have that good line like that, that allows your hips to turn much freer and easier. Well, Corral here, he's got a line, but it's virtually straight up and down because look, his head is now over his front foot, where Juan Soto's head stayed behind back here, which allowed him to see the ball much longer. So this is the deal that a lot of us are having trouble with. There's literally only like maybe 3 guys: Kyle, Ramos, Huizar. You guys keep your head pretty still. A lot of you other guys, your head loves to creep forward like this. We got to get rid of it. We need our head to stay still, like Soto here and like Harper on the previous video. All right, I hope you guys understood this. We'll keep working on the cage, and I'll talk to you next time.